There's a moment, just a flicker, in the first 10 minutes of Doom. The Dark Ages where everything goes quiet. No guitars, no roaring hellfire. Just the Doomslayer, silent and still. His armor worn like an ancient curse, standing beneath a sky cracked by fire and ash. He isn't sprinting, not yet. He's waiting. And in that breathless lull, one thing becomes painfully clear. This isn't the Doom you remember. This is something darker, older, almost mythic. Welcome to the Dark Ages, a world where metal meets medieval, and your rage is no longer just fury. It's prophecy. This game doesn't greet you with bravado. It summons you, pulls you into a cursed throne of blood and prophecy, then whispers, "You were forged to end this war." And from that moment on, every pull of the trigger feels heavier. Every step echoes like boots in a cathedral of the damned. Gone are the sleek corridors of Mars. This is raw earth, broken steel, and something deeper. A sense that maybe the Slayer isn't just a warrior, but a relic of a forgotten war. A symbol, a warning, and yet the hunger's still there. You'll feel it the moment your shield tears through a demon's spine. The moment the music kicks up, not as a roar, but as a ritual. This is Doom, reborn as legend. And the question isn't can you survive, it's should you have come back at all? Let's find out. The world of Doom. The Dark Ages isn't just different, it's disorienting. You awaken not in a UAC lab or the ruins of Phobos, but in a gothic nightmare where castles float in the sky and molten towers scrape the clouds. Here, tech and sorcery blur until you can't tell if that demon's weapon is powered by plasma or ancient blood rituals. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is a twisted saga carved into stone tablets and whispered by zealots in iron masks. And at the heart of it all, you, the Slayer, no longer just a cosmic force of vengeance, but a tool summoned like a relic. The game makes this painfully clear. You are wielded by those in power, like a warhammer sealed behind divine vaults, brought out only when the apocalypse needs cracking. The narrative leans heavy into the cinematic this time. Fully voiced characters, grandiose cutscenes, and a mythos that feels torn between Game of Thrones and Warhammer 40k. It's bold and visually, undeniably epic. Glowing glyphs pulse behind thrones of bone. A council of ethereal kings debates your fate while the sky bleeds fire. But beneath the spectacle, a question lingers. Does the Slayer even care? He doesn't speak. He doesn't choose. He just destroys. And in that silence, a chilling thought takes root. What if you're not the hero of this story, just its final weapon? This isn't just a new chapter, it's a whole new doctrine. Let's get one thing straight, this is still Doom. The moment the boots hit the dirt and the first hellspawn charges, instinct kicks in. Dash, swap weapons mid-air, shred, rip, reload, breathe. If you thought the medieval flair would slow things down, think again. Doom. The Dark Ages doesn't reinvent the wheel. It reforges it in iron and rage. The core combat loop is tight, furious, and unrelenting, blending the lean brutality of Doom in 2016 with the strategic complexity of Eternal. But now, every action feels heavier, meatier, like you're dragging a war axe through molten flesh. The biggest twist is the shield. Yes, a literal throwable shield. It's not just a gimmick. Think Captain America, but drenched in gore and fire. You toss it to sever imps in half, deflect glowing projectiles with well-timed parries, and bash through crowds like a sentient wrecking ball. It redefines combat. Rhythm, less run and gun, more read and react. Then there's melee, no longer a finisher-only move. Now you chain strikes together, earning charges to unleash savage finishes. It turns encounters into deadly choreography, where timing is as vital as firepower. You're not just fast, you're precise. You're reading enemy tells, parrying, countering, dancing with death in steel-tipped boots. And as the screen swims in blood and feedback pulses through your headphones, you realize this isn't just combat, it's a crusade. If Doom. The Dark Ages is a crusade, then your weapons are sacred relics, blasphemous, brutal, and beautifully crafted for destruction. Every gun feels forged in a temple of war. The Impaler is like a cross between a ballista and a railgun, launching heavy spikes that pin demons to walls with a satisfying crunch. The Skull Pulverizer. It's as insane as it sounds. Part cannon, part chaos. Fire it into a crowd and watch limbs scatter like confetti at a funeral. There's a chain flail that lets you lash out mid-dash, and a transforming shotgun that shifts between crowd control and close-range obliteration on the fly. Weapon evolution is another game-changer. Some guns upgrade into entirely new forms mid-fight. No clunky menus, no interruptions. 1 second you're laying down fire, the next you're wielding an infernal upgrade that ricochets molten blasts across the room. And what good are weapons without monsters to test them on? The enemy variety is top tier. From lumbering, armored, beasts that force you to break their defenses with shield counters, to airborne, rune-slinging horrors that bombard from a distance. Every encounter is a test of adaptation. Some new demons even fire parryable attacks, pushing you to master timing rather than just reflex. Boss fights crank the chaos further. Multi-phase battles with shifting patterns and environmental hazards. They're not just meat walls, they're puzzles with blood and claws. And every time you survive, weapon smoking, shield cracked, you'll whisper the same thing. I need more. Just when you think doom. The Dark Ages has shown all its cards. It throws you into a hulking mech and lets you stomp demon tanks into rubble. Sounds epic, right? And it is, at first. The ground quakes with every step. You smash through fortresses like a walking apocalypse. For a moment, you're not just the Slayer, you're Godzilla in medieval armor. But here's the catch. The mech gameplay is surprisingly restrained. Simple attack chains, limited movement options, and basic dodge and smash mechanics make it feel more like a power fantasy cutscene than a fully fleshed out system. It's a fun break, sure, but one that doesn't hit the same high notes as the on-foot carnage. Then there's the dragon. Yes, you ride a hell dragon through storm-scarred skies, dodging infernal missiles and chasing demon ships across fractured landscapes. It looks incredible, like a heavy metal album cover in motion. But gameplay-wise, it's mostly lock-on sequences and pattern-based dodging. After a while, you're not fighting, you're waiting to fight. These segments aren't failures, they're ambitious detours. But they trade Doom's signature responsiveness for spectacle, and that trade doesn't always pay off. They break up the pacing, offer some wow factor, but rarely demand the same skill or deliver the same satisfaction as the main loop. You'll appreciate the variety. You might even love the absurdity. But deep down, you'll find yourself counting the seconds until your boots hit the ground again and the real hunt resumes. For a series built on blood-soaked arenas, Doom. The Dark Ages surprises with how much it encourages you to slow down, to explore, scavenge, and evolve. Levels are massive, multi-layered, and laced with secrets. But don't worry, this isn't Doom trying to go open world. Instead, it leans into expansive, interconnected battlegrounds that reward curiosity without overwhelming you with filler. One moment you're diving into an optional ruin for an armor upgrade. The next, you're stumbling into a hidden shrine housing a cursed mini-boss that tests your skills and your reflexes. Exploration feeds directly into progression. Scattered. Across the world are currencies like gold and rare rubies, used to unlock powerful upgrades at arcane forges. These aren't minor stat boosts. We're talking new shield abilities, ricocheting shotgun blasts, enhanced melee chain finishers. Everything feels like it pushes your playstyle forward rather than sideways. And then there are the collectibles, weapon skins, lore tablets, Slayer trials. Some are clever nods to Doom's past, others offer real mechanical depth. The incentive. To look around never feels forced. You're not checking boxes. You're chasing that satisfying aha moment when a cracked wall hides a game-changing upgrade. Even the Slayer feels like he's evolving, not just stronger, but smarter. Every secret found, every rune earned, shapes your path forward. And by the end, you don't just feel powerful, you feel earned. Doom. The Dark Ages doesn't ask you to forget what came before. It dares you to embrace what's next. This isn't a perfect game. The cinematic storytelling won't connect with everyone. The mech and dragon segments, while bold, don't always soar as high as their ambition. And yes, the soundtrack, while serviceable, can't quite summon the primal fury that Mick Gordon once unleashed. But none of that overshadows the truth at the heart of this game. It's still Doom. And it still rips. The combat? Unquestionably thrilling. The shield mechanics and melee rework inject new layers of strategy without sacrificing momentum. Weapon evolution keeps you thinking, adapting, improvising. And the sense of discovery, whether through a hidden upgrade or a brutal mini-boss lurking off the main path, feeds that old-school fire in the gut. The game constantly respects your time while rewarding your effort. This is Doom rebuilt as myth, raw, weighty, and drenched in symbolism. It's not just a fight against demons, it's a fight against your own legend, against the weight of being the Slayer in a world that worships, fears, and manipulates you. And somehow, after all this time, Doom still finds new ways to feel alive. So, the real question is, will you answer the call again? We did. And we have the scars to prove it. Now we want to hear from you. What was your first Doom game? What did the Dark Ages get right or wrong for you? Share your story below and let's raise some hell together.